Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about the Savage Strike headquarters. This is one of the cooler playsets of the 80s, and the playset is a lost art this day and age. We don't see large playsets at this scale for whatever reason, for cost or whatever. So this year is the year of vintage playsets for the Titanium Hangar. I'm going to start by talking about this Savage Strike headquarters for Rambo Force of Freedom, but I'm also going to talk about a whole lot of other playsets out there, and we're going to get into all that. I do have a poll going, so please vote in my poll about what you think is the greatest vintage playset, 80s, 70s, 90s, whatever. I would like to see what everybody else thinks is the best playset so I can get it and review it. So let's get into this Savage Strike headquarters. The Rambo toy line, the Force of Freedom back in the 80s, was a big toy line. Not big as a number of figures, vehicles, and playsets, but big as they were 7-inch tall. They towered over the 3 3/4 inch figures. So the fact that these figures were so big requires such a large playset. There are large 3 3/4 inch playsets out there that do fit the bill. They look great for the 3 3/4 inch, but not every toy line got a large playset. One thing about Coleco, yes, that company that brought you a generic version of the 2600 Atari, yes, they went big. They went big with this playset. Now the base itself looks sort of like one of those pre-formed kind of swimming pools, like it's made out of that kind of material that you maybe buy at Walmart or something like that. And it doesn't feel super delicate, but I've seen a lot of these that have cracks and stuff in them, so it's really easy to crack these bad boys, and especially if they're not padded well in shipping. They're not super delicate, but again, they really weren't made to last 30 or 40 years. But this is kind of how it looks. This is the base of it and where it all starts. Next up, you want to build the tower, and then you just set the tower on there. So you build it up and you set it in these 4 holes. It just kind of sets right in there. Next up, you want to assemble this whole thing, and you're going to put it right here, and it's got sort of an outline in how it fits, so it just fits right in there in one way. So next up, you want to kind of place your ammo crates. This is sort of like Dynamite Crates or something. So you want to get them placed in there wherever you would like. Get your ammo crates in there also to get the job done. It comes with, I believe it's supposed to come with 4 of these. We'll see, I have a few extras. And then you can kind of place those where you would like. And it's supposed to come, I think, with 4 of these. Same thing. It also comes with some heavy machinery. So firepower, you can just place a figure in here to operate a gun. Maybe you've got an extra gun right here, tripod gun. Set it in there somewhere. And then of course you want to add some figures. And once you more or less have all this in place, you're gonna have yourself pretty much an instant diorama on a large scale. Playset isn't just big in size, it's big in play value, features, and big in piece count. Parts count boasts 66 different unique parts, and most of those have between 2 and 4 of the same part repeated over and over. It is amazing. We're going to go through all these parts and pieces one by one after we look at the overall playset. Let's look at some of the features. It actually has a rotating, pivoting, actual pulley mechanism that will raise an elevator or a crane or whatever you want to call it, but it does have a working pulley. It actually has a functioning dial here, and the cool point about it is it has a little tab in it which you can lock it in place. You can slide it out and start rolling it, slide it back in, lock it in place. This little piece kind of breaks easily, but it still works. It functions as long as you get one. Actually, I have a broken one also that I was able to make work. It wasn't really that hard, but it functions very well, and after 40 years it still does its job. And then you can actually move this thing around wherever you want. So that is really a cool feature. And then a lot of people like to show these on it. So this will be the first accessory I want to talk about. These are supposed to be like Dynamite Crates. I don't have the stickers on mine that it's supposed to have, but it is, I always thought these were like the lids to something, but I guess this is all you get. And I think the whole idea behind this was something they knew they could put on here, and it was pretty light, and it wouldn't really affect the mechanisms very badly. It's because you always see those chilling on it, and when I first saw this playset, I thought that was the lids to the ammo crates. So here is the ammo crate. Comes with 6 Uzis in it, and the thing is, I'm going to show you that these Uzis look the same as the Generals. Well, they actually do look a little bit different, so they're slightly different. In fact, the Generals does look a whole lot better than these cheaper, more generic. But it's still really cool that we get 6 of these with the playset. There's the sticker that's supposed to go on this. That's the one that's there. 6 Fuelless D-Assault AK-47s. And this is the sticker that I believe is supposed to go on those little ones right up there. But anyway, you know, some little kid put this on wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Next up, we have this one here. This is M60s, and they look like this. These are the guns. Now, the difference between this one and Rambo's gun, so this looks exactly like Rambo's gun. Now, Rambo's gun has a lot more paint on it, as you can see. It's the same exact gun, but the difference is it has a place for it to tab in, and where it tabs into is right here. So, pretty cool part of the playset, and I do have it in fact on the tower, but we're gonna look at that here in just a little bit. It makes for a lot of firepower. Looking at the top of the tower, we see all of this, and first of all, you have this spotlight, and that's pretty cool, and that's what's supposed to go on the top. Also, you have the flag, and that's supposed to go up top. You have a radar dish, or I always call it a satellite, but other people call it a radar dish. People that have the instruction manual. And you have a really long antenna. Of course, communication is really important when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you got to have that ability. Now, I do want to show you something real quick. If you have these little clips here, they can clip onto either this wall here, which, as you can see behind you, I'll clip this on this wall. There we go. It's clipped in place, and so you can just pull out, say, this gun. It doesn't make sense to have a gun on the top of the roof. Nobody's going to man it on the roof like that. But you could also, say, put your flag right here if that's something you want to do. So it's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different play value, a lot of things you can do with it because they have this interchangeable system with these. Either you can use these little pegs to peg stuff into the roof, or you can use that to clip things on. Following the same clip system, you have this little machine gun, which has a green little connector piece, which clips it in, and you can use that as a gun, which is actually pretty cool. And of course, you can pull this out. You can slide in whatever other gun you would like, say this gun. It's all interchangeable. Now, I did show this in my Rambo video, and this is the pretty much exact same second Troutman gun that he had, which is kind of why I thought Troutman, they just reused all Troutman's guns, which would have made sense actually, because it's his fort. Like, why wouldn't he have his own guns? But anyhow, the difference is this hole. Now, the hole is so you can clip this little piece in, and if I clip it in the right way, it'll rotate properly. So clip it in without breaking it. I see a lot of these little green pieces broken, so it kind of scares me to plug it in. Evidently it appears there are 2 different types of green clips with this set. Wow, lots of pieces with this thing. So the thinner one's what goes on this gun. No wonder I had so much trouble putting that one on. Anyway, it's still going to work. They're both going to work either way, and they would plug into all the plugs. The next thing I want to talk about is the little headset and handsets. Now, I really feel like these should have It should have come with more of these. You gotta think about the time that was going on. There was sort of like one communication specialist back in the 80s that was communicating with the rest of the world. It really wasn't as advanced as it is now, where everyone has a cell phone. So if you think about it, that's just the way it is now. I'm not sure what's the mouthpiece and what's the earpiece, or what's all that about. But anyway, that's what this stuff looks like. Now, I was told this is like the hardest thing to find, but I easily found several as I was collecting, and I kind of wanted to get more, but they don't fit the heads on all of them. And I don't know if that's just stretched out or what have it. Maybe it's over time. Maybe I can hit it with some heat and tighten it up. But yeah, I found that as a problem. Only certain characters have a big enough head to hold it. A guy that's bald probably doesn't hold the headset very well. You also get these binoculars so you can spy and see if somebody's coming. And you get 4 of each of these. Now, I've accumulated several extras, which they're really, really common for whatever reason. I mean, it seems like the playset maybe has broken down and deteriorated the whole playset, and the parts seem to be excessive, which is the opposite of what you see with every other playset and every other toy line, which is kind of fun and it's kind of cool. Next thing I want to take a look at is this massive double-barrel tripod cannon. It is huge, and for this to just be included with the playset, that's pretty awesome. It comes with the double barrel cannon. It comes with these 2 pieces here, an ammo strip, which I don't think I have the right one. I see pictures of one that just is huge, and this one, but it fits. This one fits right, and it's the right color, but I don't think it's big enough. Anyway, you just have somebody manning this. It does turn at the base, so you could pivot it. Your character could pivot it, whatever. Really, for diorama purposes, you don't need all that pivoting. It does go up and down, but not a lot. There is this interesting little tip here. I don't really know what that's for, but this is a cool cannon. But it was underappreciated by me because of these other guns that came with. Actually, they were sold separately. These guns were sold, and they kind of go well with the playset. So that's why I kind of went on my way to make sure I have them. But this one is the 50 caliber machine gun. And it just has a little tripod on it. It's really hard. I think you'd have to lay your character down to use it. So it's just like, look at the size of the figure and look at the size of this. There also was an 81mm mortar Thunder Blade Assault. This thing here has a bunch of small missiles, which I don't know where my small missiles are, but it's still kind of cool. This one makes a little bit more sense. Like, you can, I guess, stand next to it, or you can make them look like they're dropping the bombs in there. And the 50 caliber anti-aircraft gun, the sky sweeping artillery, and that's something else that was sold separate. So these were sold separately. And there's another one that uses this barrel. I don't know. I think I got all of this for like 10 bucks. Pretty cheap toy line to collect for. Rotating this around, you do get to see the communications center here, where they can just sit and communicate with people. It does look pretty good. All the stickers on it really brings just that boring green to looking like real equipment, and that is awesome. I think that communication center looks good. It has a map on it right here. Is my finger in the right spot? Yeah, right here. Definitely kind of a cool touch that it's added. Here's a back view of the tower. Yes, it does say Savage Strike Headquarters on both sides. You can catch them coming and going. We're going to talk about a few features of this tower next. A couple more features of this playset. We have a gel cell. Of course, I put Troutman in there. Everybody likes to put Cat in there. I'm not going to put Cat in there. You know, this is a different kind of day and age, and let's rescue the boss, you know. It does have an opening door that swings open. I have Rambo on it right now. Kind of a pretty cool function of a swinging opening door. We can have a good look at that and how it functions. And it's kind of cool. It was a little confusing when I put it together because I just didn't really understand that function at first. And now I think it's kind of cool to have a little gel cell in there. There are 3 of these little pieces that clip on the outside to reinforce that you can't get in or out. And then there's one last function up top here. As many cool features as this playset has, I think this is what the whole playset was designed for. This is actually pretty cool. This is a lookout tower where everything seems to function Like, you would think it's all controlled from down there, but it really feels like everything's controlled from up here. Because of the way it's set up, it has a lot of features with, this is where you actually work the crane, or whatever you want to call this contraption. This is where you have some firepower from up top. It does show binoculars on top as what you should use. But the other cool function is, if somebody gets there that doesn't belong, you have this trapdoor. Now the trapdoor function won't do anything right now, because I have figures. My figures are all holding on to something. It's an interesting idea. To get them to fall through perfectly, you have to go out of your way to set it up just right. Which evidently I didn't do. So this has been the Savage Strike headquarters from the Rambo Force of Freedom line. It is an awesome little playset. Little is not the right word because it's huge. It's massive. It's from a time when playsets were big and toy lines were awesome. Let me know what you think about this playset and what is your favorite playset from the finish line. Let me know. I also have in my community tab questions and requests about playsets. Video Maker out.